Killer, Dipset, Check my stats, man. 78 I got to be the best living, man. You already know. Like Alex Trebek, you're in jeopardy. Yes, sir, we got the recipe. Give you a tech, but nope, not a referee. Like why?
What? You want it to be one way.
Man, I don't want it to be one way. Man, stop.
What is the other way?
What's going on, YouTube? We are here. We are back with another review. Low Key Cave. Welcome back to Keyshawn Knobs' YouTube page, aka Mr. Low Key. And we are back with another TV show review. And we got Snowfall, Season 5, Episode 10, the season finale, Fault Lines review. Like I said, man, we started off with this episode pretty much with Franklin and his girl pretty much planning for the future. I mean, I really did not expect Franklin to be completely wanting to be out, but he was really trying to be out. Like, he was completely done. That last episode, I felt like, babe, he was looking at everybody making, subliminal threats. Like, yo, you want to try to do this in the third with Louis and Jerome? Okay, fine. You wanted to be at the top? I got you. And with Teddy, it was like, okay, we not working together no more. But that means I ain't gonna allow you ain't working with nobody then. That's what type of time I thought it was on, honestly. But when this episode first starts off, you can tell that he's that's it. Like, I'm done. Like, I'm over it. Even going into the Teddy, Jerome them, well, you know what Teddy was did, and I think we was all indicated on what Teddy was doing as far as Franklin and his money or whatever. So I think we was all up to date on what was going on. Franklin just wasn't up to date because I already knew when he was taking the pictures or whatever in Franklin's apartment. That's what type of time I knew Teddy was on. But going into this episode, you pretty much got everybody pretty much taking a position, especially when it comes to Louis and Jerome. More so Louis. Louis is pretty much on boss time. She is really trying to have her own thing, and she wants to run things. That's majority of the thing. She wants to run it. And so Teddy is pretty much saying, yo, Franklin said he's out. This is all on you. Can you handle that? And if anything, she's more compelled and more excited about trying to do that. The thing about it is Jerome feeling that way, and from all indications, he's with it. He's willing to go with it. So it's really interesting to see how they going along with all of this. And pretty much Teddy is even in some type of position where I feel like he's in this little happy spot. Not only because he got old girl with him, but damn, he done came in and took my man's money. My man's money, Franklin. That's pretty much how we gonna go with this episode, because when you tell somebody you took $73 million. If I'm not mistaken, it was $73 million. I remember Teddy talking to the CIA agent, and the CIA agent said, did you say 17 million? Teddy said, no, I said 70. I'm sitting here like, this is why I'm wearing this shirt and stuff, because it's Michael Myers time, baby. Hey, we killing everything on sight. You $73 million. Even if it's not 73, $70 million. This is everything Franklin done put in, the work he done put in, all the shit he done went through, being shot, being put in jail, people, he killed his homeboy, both of them, Kevin and Rob, man, like, nigga done did it all, and it's gone. That's it, it's gone. So to see the state that Franklin's in this episode, it really put me in a mind state as far as Franklin in season 1. To me, this was the weakest Franklin has looked since season 1, and I would say the first half. I'm gonna just say the first half of the episode. That's the weakest Franklin done look. But it's a lot that goes into this episode, man. Especially with everything he's trying to deal with Louis, knowing that she has this connection with Teddy now, and the whole thing with Teddy knowing that he took this man's money. And Teddy really think he got shit worked out this episode, man. And it's really funny to see how shit plays out with Teddy this episode, thinking he really got shit on lock and thinking he really got some shit going, and he really is feeling good this episode. So it's really good to see how shit doesn't work out so much in his favor this episode. And I'm not gonna go into detail, but if you have seen the episodes, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, it's definitely something to watch. As far as seeing everything unfold and seeing how everybody is pretty much drawing the lines. This is what this episode pretty much is drawing the lines, man. And this is crazy going from that season 1 to see how everything was coming together as far as the character development. But not only that, seeing how everybody was so much in separate places and how everything came together as far as people coming together. Not even in season 1, going into season 2. So it's really interesting to see how they're going to go moving forward. Also, man, I did not like his position this season. I didn't like his character development this season. I really hope that they do something with him as far as I was hoping. Well, let me say that. Yeah, I was hoping that they was doing something with him this season. That's not saying he dies this season. I'm not saying what happens to him this episode as far as leading into season 6. But they didn't pretty much, I feel like they just left it so open-handed with him this season. You didn't know what direction he was going in this season. Loyalty, I don't feel like this nigga got no type of loyalty. Maybe to Teddy. I'm just being honest. It's like, damn, bro. Like, it's the route he was going in. It's like he don't even really know what he want to do. And I really was hoping that this old girl, man, I forgot her name, but old girl from the first season that was working with him, I was really hoping that they was going to make a play with that, man. And maybe even with no matter what happens with him, maybe she still is going to come back into the picture going into season 6. I need something, man, because Oso was just played. He was burnt this season. That's how I felt. He was just burnt this season. I feel like we didn't get enough from him this season. I feel like he was just there to be there. He didn't have no input. People from Franklin to Teddy, he was just all basically like, hey, Holmes, and all of this and the third. And I'm like, bro, speak up, say something. Why do you not have no type of posture or energy for anything besides the old girl? When she was around, you had some type of something, man. But yeah, I did not like how they did Oso this season, man. I just felt like he didn't have nothing this season. I really like the way him and Teddy was rocking last season, the things they was doing. This season was just burnt with him, man. Leon, I was surprised, like I said, even with the whole thing with him and Wanda, last episode, of him saying, yo, I'm trying to get up out of here. You see everything he's doing as far as this episode, pretty much giving the indication that he is trying to leave, but he's trying to see if everybody else, as far as his organization and his crew, because the crusade, basically, he been on with him being on his Malcolm X shit this season, but he basically trying to tell everybody, yo, if I'm getting out the game, y'all can pretty much get out the game too, and this and the third, but you can kind of see how everybody is like, man, what about the money? What about this and the third? Like, everybody is not thinking like he's thinking, especially with the position he's in. But he says a lot of interesting things this episode, especially in this scene when he's talking to his homeboys and about the new laws that's supposed to come into play. That's an interesting point that he says, because I'm really wondering, are they going to try to make some type of play into that? Because this is the last episode, so they really didn't put too much into it. But he's talking about the new laws and what you could be charged with, especially having between, as far as just going from having one thing of rock all the way from having charging you for one thing of rock, like you got a big ass pound or some shit like that. And it's really, really enlightening with the things he's talking about as far as those new laws that's about to come into play. So I'm wondering if they're going to go into season are they going to go into season 6 talking about some of that, man? So that's going to be a big play, and I'm hoping they are going to go that route as far as season 6, because that's another thing with this season. I feel like they went away from the whole thing as far as what Crack was doing into the neighborhoods, and I know they did a lot of that play going into like seasons 3 and 4, especially with everything Andre was doing, especially trying to bring Franklin down with everything he was seeing that was going on to the neighborhood. But I feel like they really got away from that. But I understood, because it was showing Franklin and his development as far as the organization, as far as that downfall and people trying to get in their own position pertaining to Louis, and the whole thing with Teddy coming back into the picture, being that he had left, and everything going on with Franklin's father. So I get why they try to move away from that, but I'm hoping that they're going to get back into that going into season 6, especially with maybe bringing the whole DARE program into play, to just say no and everything like that. I'm really hoping they're going to do that, because even with the whole CIA thing, besides Teddy, they kind of strayed away from that, because whether you believe it or not, and maybe they did that intentionally because they trying to get away from the whole story as far as this loosely, once again, being based on Free Ray Ricky Ross and his whole connection with the CIA, and him being one of the biggest drug dealers out of California, if I'm not mistaken, South Central. I'm just saying though. But yeah, it's really interesting to see how they're going to play on that, especially everything Leon was talking about with his crew. Javi, man, we finally, and maybe have they gave any indication that this guy was KGB? If they have, I didn't hear it. Y'all let me know in the comment section. But we do finally give info on this guy as far as the guy that kidnapped Javi last episode. And shout out Javi, man. He was holding it down once again. He was fighting back. He was whooping this nigga ass, basically. He was really almost, really 2 against 1 because he shot old buddy. But still, if we didn't get an indication or we didn't get full information on who this guy is that's working with Sissy, he is KGB. And that's basically like the Russian CIA, right? Or some type of Russian organization. And I'm really interested to see what they try to play with this, especially going into season 6, because when they showed the DEA agent at the wedding, you know, the DA, well, I'm gonna talk about him, but I thought he was working with this guy, and I'm like, because he was at the wedding, and once again, so I want to talk about this. Okay, we're gonna get to it, because I'm not gonna say what happens, but the DEA agent, if you don't remember this guy, he was the DEA agent working with the girl that also killed the lady DEA agent. So he does make a play back into this, especially in this last episode. My thing is, where did he come back from? I know he was talking to the reporter chick or whatever last season that got killed by Teddy, but as far as this new season, only time, and my first time seeing him is when he popped up at the wedding. Did he pop up any time before the end? Because he popped up then, and then he popped up in this episode. And I'm not gonna say what happens with him and what he's doing, but it's really revealing when he comes into play. And I'm thinking he's gonna play a major role going into season 6, because remember, he was the one taking the pictures and everything. He wasn't just taking pictures as far as Oso, because you know Oso was the main person that killed old girl. Well, and I'm thinking maybe they whole play, he definitely is after Teddy. He definitely after Teddy and the whole CIA thing, because you know the agent got killed behind Teddy and what he was doing. So it's really going to be interesting to see what they do with that, like I said. And I ain't mean to jump away from the whole KGB thing and Javi, but like I said, I was just trying to figure out, did this DEA agent ever come up or pop up anytime this season, besides in these 2 episodes he's been in that I've seen him in, as far as the wedding and this last episode. But as far as Javi and the KGB, Javi's smart, man. But not only that, you know, Javi is experienced, but he's been around certain things, and he's done been not implicated, but he's done been in type of different organizations pertaining to the whole gun running thing. And I can't give an indication, or I forgot what type of organizations or that one he said, but I know he's done been in different ones and mentioned different ones throughout the seasons. But I was just surprised by old buddy being the KGB, because he's got that Russian connection, and not only that, him being Russian, if I'm not mistaken. And they explained the whole thing with him, because like I said, I thought he was like some DEA agent or some type of other agent or something out of Mexico, like a cartel agent, something, I don't know. But I wasn't thinking KGB. And it's really interesting, the conversation between him and Javi and where this go with him, especially with the information that he is trying to get on Teddy. Because I really was thinking that his whole play was him trying to get the Franklin, but I really am thinking that they play is about Teddy. And it's really interesting to see where they go with this. Once again, Teddy got some shit he got to deal with in this episode, and it's really interesting to see how Teddy thinking everything is all good and all gravy, man. I'm telling you, Teddy is sitting on a high horse in this episode. So it's interesting to see where they go with that, man. Franklin girl, man. I've been saying, like I said, all season I didn't trust her. And once again, I feel like she maybe is trying to hold it down for Franklin, man. It is an interesting thing she does this episode, and they don't play on it too much, but she makes a certain phone call. Not only do I want to know who she making that phone call to, but who is this person? Not like I said, who is she calling, but what is it about? Because it almost sounds like this is a person that's not only going to come in and try to help her, but is she calling him to help with Franklin too? It's really, really interesting to see where they're going to go with this, and they don't play too much on it in this episode. So it's basically giving you, I guess, hindsight for maybe a possibility of this new person is going to be coming into play, as far as whoever Franklin's girl know, as far as season 6. And it's going to be interesting to see what they do with that. I was really, really interested to see who is she talking to or what's going on with that. But yeah, man, I'm really, really interested to see what they do with that. Kane, I'm not going to say what role he plays in this episode, but it's definitely going to be interesting moving forward, because he's definitely going to be a part of season 6, and I think he's going to have a much bigger role in season 6, man. I'm not going to say what happens. I'm not going to say the connections that come into play as far as him, but it's one of the best scenes in the episode, leading up into the whole not really confrontation, but the whole exchange between him and this other individual that he has this conversation with, as far as Kane. So I'm definitely looking forward to see what they do with Kane going into season 6, man. But Franklin, man, with everything he has going on in this episode, like I said, the first half, he's looking weak. Going into the second half of this episode, he's definitely going into demon time, and that's why I'm wearing the Michael Myers shirt, man, because he is not playing with nobody. He is definitely going after it, man, and that's all I'm going to say. If you have not seen this episode, you ain't ready. If you have seen this episode, it is one of the best scenes of this episode, but not only this episode, just television, because they got the music playing in the background and everything he starts to do, like I said, and it's really, man, that music. It's really the music that really hit for you, but it's the way they play that scene now, man, and I'm loving this scene, man. I'm telling you. I'm not going to say what the song is, but I'm telling you, be looking forward to this scene. It's really, I almost call it Franklin's revenge. He going after it, bro. Sissy. I'm really, really interested to see what she's going to do going forward, because her and Franklin have a very interesting conversation towards the end of the episode, and it's very interesting, and it's almost saying, is this where Sissy's standing? Even with the whole thing that's going on with Louie and Jerome, and you'll know what I'm talking about once you watch the episode, but it's really interesting to see how this plays out as far as with Sissy and Franklin possibly moving forward. I'm not going to say what happens, but the conversation they have is very important, man, and it's really seeing where they're going to go with this. So, yeah. Definitely interested to see how this plays out between Sissy and Franklin. And once again, I want to know what the hell is up with Alton. I'm not gonna say if they say anything, but I almost basically have done told you they. Because I'm telling you, I feel like Alton is alive, but we are not getting that full indication. And even if it's dead, even if Alton is dead, they're not fully coming out and saying what happened to him. Did Teddy kill him? Did he take him somewhere and he tried to talk to him about something, this and the third, and then he killed him, or he sent them somewhere, or somebody else killed them? We are not getting a full indication of Alton, and I'm telling you, that's going to make a play into season 6. Everybody heard Alton dead, Alton dead. If you do not see the death on screen, I feel like it's not happening yet. It ain't happened yet. That's how I feel about it. In all honesty, that's how I feel about it. But once again, this shirt is definitely for my boy Franklin, man. Like I said, man, it's one of the best scenes and it's one of the best endings to a show. And I had to go back. Just this scene alone, I went back and watched 4 or 5 times, man. I'm telling you, just this scene alone, man. But yeah, Franklin meant every word he said when he was on that different time. When bodies! He definitely meant all of that, man. Bodies. He was not playing, but this definitely was the best episode of this season. Overall, like I said, man, this was probably, to me, it wasn't as good of a season as the previous seasons. I don't know if they had anything, when rest in peace to the great John Singleton, with him not being around, but it just did not hit me the way those previous seasons have. This episode, though, it definitely made up for this season. It did. Like I said, let alone just that last act. Just that last act of this season, for me, made up for a lot of this. The last act of this episode made up for a lot of this season, for me, honestly. The overall, man, I'm telling you, man, it's definitely one of a kind. Franklin, shout out to the actor Damian Idris who plays Franklin, man. He definitely plays his part this season. He definitely had standout moments, especially with the conversation between him and Louie. Y'all know the conversation, because there's nothing I'm not prepared to do. And you know what I'm saying? He had a bunch of moments, standout acting. He definitely got to get some type of Emmy nomination. But it's definitely going to be interesting to see what's going on with him throughout this episode, but possibly moving forward, what's going to be going on with him. Once again, I say possibly because I can't say the outcome of this episode or what happens. But like I said, man, it's definitely the standout episode of this season. But y'all, let me know in the comment section if you have had a chance to check out Snowfall Season 5, Episode 10, Fault Lines. Let me know how you feel about it. If you haven't, you definitely need to go check it out. It's a standout episode, man. Let alone the background music and the soundtrack this episode. The soundtrack this episode was everything. I'm trying to tell you, I cannot put more emphasis on the soundtrack of this episode, but it was just everything that happens, man. I'm telling you. Did we lose people? I'm not going to say. Like I said, it's some interesting moments. That's all I'm going to say. But y'all let me know in the comment section. If you have checked this out, let me know how you felt about it. If you haven't, let me know when you plan on it and how you going to feel about it. Let me know in the comment section, man. Make sure you hit that like button. If you're not subscribed to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. This is the road to 500 subs. Make sure you hit that notification bell, let you know when I upload new videos. Other than that, man, make sure you tune in for a new episode of Uncut Ish Talk Friday, 9 p.m. We definitely going to talk more about Snowfall. We got some new music coming out. Definitely tune in Friday, 9 p.m. for a new episode of Uncut Ish Talk. Other than that, man.
From here on out, I don't want to hear anything else about kilos or prices. Y'all want to go out on your own? Fine. But do not for 1 second fuck around with what I got to do to get mine. Because I promise you, there is nothing I'm not prepared to do.